what is your understanding of the damage done by the Iranian missiles, which were aimed at Israel, and which the Israeli government claims 99% were shot down and never made their way through?
Well, that's just a complete lie. And it's a lie not only belied by satellite evidence showing the key Israeli genocide hub in the Negev desert, an Air Force base that was struck multiple times, where F-35s are housed, where Israel's Air Force intelligence planes do overflights over Gaza, but also by our own reporter on the ground. Jeremy Lafredo for the Gray Zone actually visited that base. And he also visited Mossad headquarters in Tel Aviv and saw how craters were being concealed outside that base by Israeli police. And Israel was using scrambling mechanisms to cover up the GPS location of the Mossad headquarters. So when Jeremy looked at his Google Maps, it showed that he was at Queen Alia Airport in Amman, Jordan, when he was in fact in Tel Aviv. This is a huge embarrassment for Israel. And what it confirms is that Iran not only was able to break through 2 layers of the Iron Dome and Arrow anti-missile system, but that it targeted specifically military targets and avoided killing civilians, which is the precise opposite of what Israel has been doing in Gaza and Lebanon.
Isn't it also true that Iran gave notice to Moscow and Washington of its intentions 2 hours before it started?
It did. And Israelis were well aware of when it was going to start. I actually spoke to a friend in Iran who saw the missiles on their way, and another friend in Jordan who saw the missiles on the way. So it wasn't as though Israelis didn't have the chance to go to their bunkers, something which no one in Gaza has. And Jeremy Lafredo, a reporter who was in the Negev desert, spoke to a Bedouin from one of the many quote unquote unrecognized villages there. They're not recognized just because the so-called Jewish state refuses to recognize them because their inhabitants are not Jews. And they have no bunkers because they're not recognized. So many non-Jews who are Israeli citizens who have even served in the Israeli army were unable to shelter. Yet there were no casualties, no civilian casualties. And it really says something about the Israelis when they try to say, well, this means that the strike failed. It shows that they see mass civilian casualties and injuries as a measure of success.